Beloved, the most powerful tool you will ever possess is not found outside of you. It is within your own mind. Every thought you think is shaping your reality. Every belief you hold is painting the canvas of your life. If you have ever felt stuck, defeated, or trapped, it is not because the world is against you. It is because your thoughts are waiting to be renewed. Today, I will show you how to control your thoughts and transform your entire life. The very first step in transforming your life begins with becoming aware of the conversation you are constantly having with yourself. From the moment you open your eyes in the morning until you close them at night, your mind is filled with thoughts. Some are uplifting, some are neutral, and some can be deeply critical or even destructive. Many people are not even conscious of how often their thoughts lean towards self-judgment, fear, or limitation. Yet these thoughts are not just passing clouds. They are seeds being planted into the fertile soil of your subconscious. What grows in your life tomorrow is being created by the thoughts you think today. Think about it. How often do you say things to yourself that you would never say to someone you love? When you make a mistake, do you call yourself careless, lazy, or not good enough? When you look in the mirror, do you focus on your beauty or on the flaws you wish were not there? Every word you speak to yourself, whether silently or aloud, carries energy. That energy either builds you up or tears you down. If you feel that life has been heavy, unkind, or disappointing, it may be because your inner dialogue has been rehearsing heaviness, unkindness, and disappointment. Awareness is the key that unlocks the door to change. Until you become aware of what you are saying to yourself, you will continue to repeat old cycles. The mind is like a river. It flows whether you direct it or not. Without awareness, the river of thought may carry you into places of fear, worry, and regret. But the moment you become aware, you realize you can redirect the flow. You are no longer at the mercy of old patterns. You are the captain of your ship. So begin gently. You do not need to control every thought, nor is it possible. But you can begin to notice. Notice how you speak to yourself when you wake up in the morning. Do you rise with hope and gratitude? Or do you immediately begin with thoughts like, I'm so tired. I have too much to do. This day will be hard. Notice how you respond to yourself when you face challenges. Do you encourage yourself or do you predict failure before you even begin? This noticing is powerful because once you see the pattern, you can no longer pretend it isn't there. Awareness shines a light on the shadow. Some people fear becoming aware of their thoughts because they don't want to confront the negativity they might find. But awareness is not about judgment. It is about observation. Imagine yourself as a gentle witness, simply listening into the conversation of your mind with curiosity. You are not here to punish yourself for negative thoughts. You are here to recognize them so that you can choose differently. The very act of noticing without judgment creates space for healing. One of the most loving practices you can begin is to pause several times throughout your day and ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Then ask, is this thought supporting the life I want to create, or is it limiting me? If the thought is loving, encouraging, or hopeful, keep it and let it grow. If the thought is unkind or filled with fear, gently release it and replace it with something better. At first, this may feel like work because old habits are strong. But with practice, it becomes natural. You begin to hear the difference between the voice of your old limitations and the voice of your new empowered self. It is also important to remember that your inner dialogue was not born overnight. Much of what you say to yourself has been learned from childhood, from society, or from past experiences. If you grew up hearing criticism, you may have adopted it as your own. If you experience disappointment, You may have begun to expect it again and again. But just as you once learned those voices, you can unlearn them. You can train your inner dialogue to speak in the language of love, compassion, and faith. Every moment of awareness is a victory. Even if you notice yourself thinking something negative, celebrate that awareness. It means you are awake. You are no longer sleepwalking through your thoughts. You are present, and presence is where transformation happens. With awareness, you gain the freedom to choose. You can choose words of encouragement. I am capable. I am worthy. I can handle this. You can choose thoughts that open doors instead of closing them. Something good is coming. I am attracting opportunities. I am safe. Each new choice plants a new seed, and over time, the garden of your mind begins to bloom in ways that uplift every area of your life. So be gentle with yourself as you learn this practice. You are not aiming for perfection. You are aiming for progress. Even small shifts in your inner dialogue can create powerful changes in your outer world. You will notice that when you speak more kindly to yourself, you begin to feel lighter. When you choose more hopeful thoughts, life begins to present you with hopeful experiences. When you replace criticism with compassion, your relationships soften and your heart opens. Awareness is not just about thoughts. It is about creating a new relationship with yourself. It is about treating yourself as someone worthy of love, respect, and encouragement. When you become aware of your inner dialogue, you take the first step toward reclaiming your power. You are no longer bound by old stories. You are writing new ones. And as you write, your life begins to mirror the love, joy, and abundance you are planting within. Every single day, your mind produces thousands of thoughts. They come like waves on the ocean, one after another, rolling in constantly. Some of these thoughts are bright and uplifting. Others may be heavy and filled with fear. Most people believe they are powerless against this stream, as though thoughts simply arrive and there is nothing they can do but accept them. Yet this is not true. A thought is not a command. A thought is an option. It is a choice you are free to make or let go of. Think of your thoughts as items displayed on a shelf in a store. You walk through and you see hundreds of possibilities. You are not required to pick up every single one. You would not buy everything you see simply because it is there. You would look, examine, and choose only what you truly want. The same is true with your mind. Just because a thought appears does not mean you must claim it, repeat it, or allow it to shape your life. You can pause and say, "This is not mine. I do not choose this." In that moment, you take back your power. The truth is, most people do not realize they have a choice. They accept every fearful or limiting thought as if it were absolute reality. They say, "I am not good enough. I will never succeed. Nothing ever works for me." And then they live inside the walls those thoughts create. But once you realize thoughts are choices, the walls begin to crumble. You see that you do not have to stay locked in that prison. You are free to walk into the light of a new idea, a new belief, a new possibility. Choosing your thoughts is not about pretending life is perfect or denying challenges. It is about deciding which voice you will amplify within yourself. When difficulty comes, you can choose the thought that says, "This is too much for me," or you can choose the thought that says, "I am strong enough to grow through this." Both thoughts are available. One limits you, the other expands you. The power lies in the choice. Imagine a gardener standing before two baskets of seeds. One basket holds seeds of weeds, doubt, fear, anger, resentment. The other holds seeds of flowers, hope, love, faith, abundance. Every thought is like a seed the gardener can plant. If the gardener sows weeds, weeds will grow. If the gardener sows flowers, flowers will bloom. The earth does not argue. It simply brings forth what is planted. Your mind works the same way. You cannot plant seeds of limitation and expect a harvest of freedom. But if you plant seeds of strength, beauty, and worthiness, your life will begin to reflect that growth. Sometimes people say, "But I cannot help the way I think." These thoughts just come. That is true. They do come. But you are not required to hold on to them. You can let them pass like clouds across the sky. If a cloud of fear floats by, you do not need to climb onto it. You can simply watch it drift away. If a cloud of hope arrives, you can choose to let it stay and fill your sky with light. The choice belongs to you. One powerful way to practice this is to pause whenever you notice a thought that brings heaviness. Ask yourself, do I want this thought to create my tomorrow? If the answer is no, release it. Then choose another thought that feels more supportive. It does not need to be grand or perfect. It only needs to move you toward love rather than away from it. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I will never find peace," you can shift gently into, "Peace is possible for me. I am open to finding it." That shift, small as it seems, begins to open a new doorway in your life. Over time, as you practice choosing, your mind begins to change. The old habit of automatically accepting negativity weakens, and a new habit of selecting empowering thoughts strengthens. Just as a muscle grows when you exercise it, your ability to choose grows stronger each day you practice. And with each choice, your outer world begins to reflect the new energy you are carrying inside. Remember, the quality of your life is not decided by random thoughts that pass through your mind. It is decided by the thoughts you choose to embrace, nurture, and repeat. Those are the ones that settle deep into your subconscious and shape your reality. This is why it is so important to be gentle but deliberate with yourself. You are not at the mercy of the mind. You are the director of the play. You decide which lines are spoken and which ones are cut from the script. So today, begin with a simple but powerful affirmation. I am the thinker of my thoughts, and I choose thoughts that support my highest good. Say it often. Let it guide you. The more you claim this truth, the more you will feel your own power returning. You are not trapped by fear or doubt. You are free to choose a new way of thinking, and in doing so, you are free to create a new life. Every thought you think carries a vibration, and every word you speak is a form of energy. When you fill your mind with words of doubt, fear, or criticism, that energy becomes the atmosphere in which you live. Many people are so used to negative self-talk that they do not even recognize it anymore. They speak to themselves in harsh tones, telling themselves they are not enough, that they cannot succeed, that they will never change. Over time, these words shape their reality. They do not realize that every time they repeat a thought like, "I can't do this," or "I am not worthy," they are reinforcing a belief that keeps them stuck. But the moment you choose to replace those words with ones of love and possibility, you begin to transform the landscape of your life. Negativity does not need to be fought. Fighting it only strengthens it. When you argue with a thought, you give it more energy. Instead, the most powerful way to dissolve negativity is to gently replace it with healing words. Imagine a dark room. You do not need to fight the darkness. You simply bring in light. The darkness naturally fades. In the same way, when a thought of fear arises, you do not need to wrestle with it. You simply introduce a new thought, a word of love, and the old one begins to lose its hold. Let's say you hear yourself thinking, "Why always fail?" That is a heavy thought, and if repeated often, it creates a life that feels like constant failure. Instead of fighting it, you can breathe deeply and say, "I am learning. Every step I take brings me closer to success." Notice how the energy shifts. The first statement closes doors. The second opens them. Or perhaps you catch yourself saying, "No one loves me." That thought hurts deeply, but rather than feeding it with more sorrow, you can whisper to yourself, "Love is all around me. I am open to giving and receiving love." With practice, your heart begins to believe the healing words, and your life begins to reflect them. Replacing negativity with healing words is not about pen painting or challenges do not exist. It is about choosing not to let them define you. You can acknowledge that you are facing something hard while still speaking words that uplift you. For example, when life feels overwhelming, instead of saying, "I cannot handle this," you can say, "I am stronger than I realize. I take one step at a time, and life supports me." This shift in language creates a shift in energy. And when your energy changes, your circumstances often begin to change as well. One of the most loving things you can do for yourself is to create a collection of healing words you return to often. These can be affirmations, simple phrases that remind you of your worth and your power. When you catch yourself in negativity, you can gently redirect with one of these phrases. For instance, "I am safe." "I'm worthy." "I am enough." "I trust the process of life." "Something wonderful is on its way to me." These words are not empty. They are seeds. Each time you plant them in your mind, you are preparing a new harvest. At first, your old negative words may feel louder because they have been rehearsed for years. But do not be discouraged. Imagine pouring clean water in a cup that has been filled with dark ink. At first, the water is still cloudy, but the more clean water you pour, the clearer it becomes. Your mind works the same way. The more healing words you repeat, the more they begin to wash away the old negativity until clarity and light return. You will notice over time that when you replace negativity with healing words, not only does your inner world change, but so does your outer world. People respond differently to you. Opportunities begin to appear. Your relationships soften. Your health improves. This is because your words create a vibration, and that vibration attracts experiences to match. When you radiate love, you draw love. When you speak abundance, you invite abundance. When you affirm peace, you begin to live in peace. Be patient with yourself in this process. Do not expect every negative thought to vanish overnight. This is a practice, a new way of relating to your mind. Some days will feel easy, and others may feel challenging. But even on difficult days, one healing word spoken with sincerity can begin to shift everything. Even if you only replace one negative phrase with one gentle affirmation, you are moving in the direction of your highest good. The most important part is consistency. Make healing words a natural part of your daily life. Speak them when you wake up in the morning. Whisper them before you fall asleep at night. Use them when you face fear and also when you feel joy. Let them become the language you live by. Over time, the old negativity will no longer feel like your truth. You will realize that your true voice has always been one of love, and you have simply remembered it. So whenever you catch yourself speaking harshly to yourself, breathe and choose again. Replace that negativity with words that heal, words that bless. In doing so, you will not only change the way you think, you will change the way you live. Your mind is a canvas, and every image you hold within it becomes a brushstroke that paints the story of your life. The power of visualization is one of the most beautiful gifts you possess. When you visualize, you are not simply daydreaming, you are creating. Every picture you hold in your imagination sends a signal, and that signal begins to call experiences, people, and opportunities into your reality. To visualize the life you desire is to invite it into existence long before it arrives. Think for a moment about how often people visualize what they do not want. They picture the worst-case scenario, They imagine failure, rejection, or loss. They replay painful scenes in their minds as though they were watching a movie on repeat. Without realizing it, they are rehearsing fear, and life responds to that fear by giving them more of it. But when you shift your inner vision to focus on what you truly desire, you begin to tell the universe a new story. You say, "This is the direction of my heart. This is the life I am ready to live." Visualization is not about fantasy. It is about alignment. When you see yourself in a state of joy, abundance, or health, you are training your mind and body to believe it is possible. Your subconscious cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. So when you hold a picture of success in your mind, your body begins to feel successful. When you imagine love surrounding you, your heart begins to open. When you picture yourself thriving, your energy rises to meet that vision. The outer world eventually begins to mirror what you have already accepted within. Begin simply. Close your eyes for a few moments each day and imagine the life you truly desire. See yourself waking up in a home that feels peaceful and safe. Imagine stepping into a day filled with purpose, joy, and connection. Feel yourself surrounded by people who love, respect, and support you. Picture your body filled with health, energy, and strength. Allow your imagination to paint every detail. The more clearly you see it, the more deeply you will begin to believe it. And belief is the bridge that turns vision into reality. Do not worry if at first your mind resists. It may whisper, "This is unrealistic," or "This will never happen." Those are old voices of doubt, and you do not need to argue with them. Let them fade like background noise, and keep returning to your vision. The more you practice, the stronger your images become. Over time, those visions will feel less like distant dreams and more like natural extensions of who you are. One of the most powerful aspects of visualization is emotion. It is not enough to see the picture. You must also feel it. If you imagine abundance, feel the freedom and relief of financial security. If you visualize love, feel the warmth of being cherished and understood. If you picture health, feel the vitality and energy flowing through your body. Emotion is the magnet that makes your vision alive. When you combine a clear picture with a strong feeling, you create a vibration so powerful that the universe cannot help but respond. Visualization is also an act of trust. You are telling life, "I believe in possibilities greater than what I see right now." You may not know how your vision will come to pass, and that is perfectly fine. Your task is not to figure out every detail of the how. Your task is to hold the vision with faith. The universe has ways of arranging circumstances, moving people, and opening doors that you could never plan on your own. Your vision sets the direction, and life fills in the path. You may wonder how long it takes for your vision to manifest. The answer is different for everyone, but know this: every time you visualize with sincerity, you are planting seeds. Some seeds sprout quickly, others take more time, but all are growing beneath the surface. Do not dig them up with doubt. Keep watering them with faith. Keep returning to your vision with joy. Eventually, what you once imagined will begin to show up in the physical world, often in ways more beautiful than you expected. Visualization is not about escaping reality. It is about creating a new reality. It gives you permission to step beyond limitation and step into possibility. It trains your mind to see opportunities where others see obstacles. It strengthens your heart to keep moving forward, even when the outer circumstances are not yet aligned. It builds a bridge from the present moment to the life you are ready to live. So each day, take a few minutes to sit quietly with your vision. Breathe deeply. See it. Claim it. Know that you are worthy of the life you are imagining. Know that by holding it in your mind, you are already calling it into being. Your imagination is not a weakness, it is your creative power. And the more you honor it, the more you will watch your life transform into the vision you have carried within all along. Gratitude is one of the most transformative practices you can ever welcome into your life. It is simple, it costs nothing, and yet it has the power to change everything. When you begin to focus on gratitude, you shift your attention from what is missing to what is already present, from what is wrong to what is right, from what is lacking to what is abundant. This shift is not just emotional, it is energetic. Gratitude raises your vibration and aligns you with the flow of more blessings. Many people spend much of their time noticing what they do not have. They say, I wish I had more money, I wish I had love, I wish I had better health. While desire is natural, constantly living the energy of lack only attracts more lack. Gratitude flips that energy. When you say, thank you for the money I do have, thank you for the love that surrounds me, thank you for the health I enjoy, you are telling life, I see my blessings, I recognize them, I honor them, and life responds by giving you more of what you appreciate. Practicing gratitude does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending that difficulties do not exist. It means choosing to find light, even in the midst of darkness. It means saying, Wes, this is hard, but I am grateful for the strength I am gaining through it. It means whispering thank you for the small things. A smile from a stranger, the warmth of the sun, the comfort of a meal. The more you notice the gifts around you, the more you realize that abundance has always been present in your life. Gratitude also transforms the way you feel about yourself. When you are caught in self-criticism, you only see what you believe is wrong with you. But when you begin to practice gratitude for who you are, you shift that inner dialogue. You can say, I am grateful for my mind that allows me to learn. I am grateful for my body that carries me through each day. I am grateful for my heart that has loved and endured. Suddenly, instead of being your own enemy, you become your own supporter. Gratitude softens judgment and turns it into compassion. One of the most beautiful things about gratitude is that it multiplies. The more thankful you become, the more reasons you find to be thankful. It is as though life itself bends toward those who live in appreciation. When you begin your morning with gratitude, the day seems to unfold with greater ease. When you end your evening with gratitude, you sleep more peacefully. Gratitude is not just a practice, it is a way of living, a lens through which you see the world. Make gratitude simple. You do not need to wait for something grand to happen. Start by naming 3 things each morning that you are grateful for. It could be as small as your breath, the bed you sleep in, or the ability to see the light of a new day. As you speak these out loud or write them down, notice how your energy lifts. Gratitude creates a frequency of joy that ripples into everything you do. When challenges arise, gratitude becomes your anchor. It reminds you that even in pain, there are blessings. Perhaps the struggle is teaching you patience, building your strength, or redirecting you to something better. Saying thank you does not mean you enjoy the hardship. It means you trust that good can still come from it. Gratitude in difficult times is not always easy, but it is always powerful. It keeps you from sinking into despair and opens your heart to hope. Gratitude also deepens your relationships. When you appreciate the people in your life, they feel valued. A simple thank you can heal wounds, restore love, and strengthen bonds. Instead of focusing on what others do not do for you, focus on what they do give. Gratitude shifts your energy from demanding to appreciating, and in that shift, love flows more freely. The more you practice gratitude, the more you realize that life is not happening against you but for you. Every day carries gifts, some obvious, some hidden. Gratitude helps you unwrap them. It teaches you to slow down and notice the beauty in the ordinary. It reminds you that abundance is not just about material wealth. It is about moments of peace, laughter, connection, and joy. So each day, take time to pause and give thanks. Say thank you for the morning light, for the meals that nourish you, for the breath that sustains you. Say thank you for the lessons, for the opportunities, for the people who love you. Let gratitude become your constant prayer, your daily meditation, your way of living. The more you practice it, the more you will see your life blossom in ways you never imagined. Gratitude is the doorway to miracles. It is the key that unlocks abundance, the song that calls joy into your heart. When you practice gratitude daily, you align yourself with the flow of life, and life responds by blessing you with more. Begin now. Begin to thank you. Whisper it deeply. Carry it with you, and watch as gratitude changes not only your perspective, but the entire story of your life. When you walk on the journey of transformation, one of the most important lessons you must embrace is patience and gentleness with yourself. Far too often, we expect instant change, immediate progress, or flawless execution of new habits. We forget that growth is not a race, but a process. You are not meant to rush your healing, and you are not meant to criticize yourself for not being perfect. The truth is, transformation blooms in the soil of compassion. Every small step you take matters, even when it feels invisible. The flower does not scold itself for not blooming overnight, and neither should you. You are unfolding at your own divine pace, and patience allows you to honor that unfolding. Think about how you speak to yourself when you make a mistake or when something does not go as planned. Do you criticize, blame, or scold yourself? Or do you offer kindness as you would to a dear friend? Self-criticism keeps you trapped in cycles of doubt, but kindness becomes the gentle hand that lifts you back up. Every time you show yourself compassion, you send a message to your heart that you are worthy of love. No matter where you are on your path, patience and gentleness are not signs of weakness. They are acts of deep strength and self-respect. Many people believe that the way to change is through discipline, control, or force. But lasting change never comes from pushing or punishing yourself. It comes from nurturing yourself. When a child is learning to walk, they fall many times before they find balance. Imagine if every time they fell, they gave up because they weren't perfect yet. No, they rise again and again and again. That is how you must treat yourself, with encouragement, with gentleness, and with unwavering patience. It is easy to compare yourself with others, to look at where they are and wonder why you are not there yet. But comparison is an enemy of patience. It distracts you from your own unique path and timing. Just as no two flowers bloom in the same moment, no two people evolve at the same pace. Your journey is sacred, and it is meant for you alone. Trust that the timing of your life is perfect, even if it does not match the timing you imagined. Every delay, every pause, every detour is still a part of your growth. When you practice patience, you allow yourself to breathe deeply and trust the process. You stop demanding immediate results and begin honoring the present moment. Every present moment carries a gift, but if you are too busy criticizing or rushing yourself, you miss it. Patience teaches you to be here now, to see progress in the little things, the calmer breath, the softer thoughts, the moments of peace that come more often than before. Each of these is proof that you are moving forward. Gentleness with yourself is a practice of speaking words of loving wordly. Instead of saying, "I should have done better," say, "I am learning, and that is enough." Instead of declaring, "I am too slow," remind yourself, "I am moving at the perfect pace for me." Your words have power, and when they are wrapped in kindness, they soothe your spirit. They give you permission to keep going without shame, without guilt, and without fear. There will be days when you feel tired, when the old patterns creep back in, when you forget how far you've come. On those days, be extra gentle. Do not see them as failures, but as reminders that you are human. Healing is not a straight line, but a dance of steps forward, pauses, and sometimes steps back. And yet, with patience, you always continue the dance. The important thing is not how quickly you arrive, but that you never stop believing in yourself. You may want to ask yourself, how can I show myself gentleness today? Perhaps it is by resting when you are tired, by taking a walk in nature, by speaking kindly to yourself, or by allowing yourself to start again tomorrow. These small acts are not indulgence, they are fuel for your growth. They keep your spirit strong and your heart open. So, take a deep breath and release the pressure to be perfect. Release the need to rush. Trust that you are on your way, that each step matters, that each moment counts. Speak softly to yourself. Offer encouragement in place of judgment. Allow your journey to unfold the way a sunrise does. Slowly, beautifully, and in its own perfect time. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are simply growing, and growth requires patience. When you combine patience with gentleness, you create a safe space within yourself to thrive. And in that space, miracles can happen. Because when you love yourself enough to wait, when you treat yourself with kindness, you align with the natural rhythm of life. And life, in return, will meet you with grace.